Okay. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Welcome. We see a few more people that are trickling in. We'll give it a minute and get started. But I hope everybody's having a good Tuesday so far. And thank you all for joining at the end of the day. All right, we'll get started now. My name is Mushar Chaudhry, and I am the manager of sales and recruitment for the Chang School. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the land upon which Toronto Metropolitan University is built. Toronto is in Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited to this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. I want to pay my respects to the Indigenous peoples, elders, and ancestors who stewarded and cared for the nature and people who lived on the land where TMU is located today. At the university, we have made a deep and long-lasting commitment to truth and reconciliation. I invite you to learn more about this work online. Now I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's session. Microphone is going to be muted throughout the event so as not to disturb other attendees or presenters. For the hearing impaired, we have automated captioning available, which you can access by activating it in the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. You will have the opportunity to submit text questions by typing your questions into the question box in the control panel, and you may send in your questions anytime during the session. We'll be answering them towards the end. Now I'd like to introduce our guest speakers for today. We have Alex Farwan, Faculty Liaison of the Faculty of Science and the Chang School, Dylan Refka, an industry leader, Program Advisory Council member for the certificate, and developer for two of the certificates. He's also an instructor for two of the code courses. And then we have Dr. Chris Alexander, who's an industry leader and the video games professor. He has also helped in this certificate as a curriculum committee member and a developer. So Alex will provide a brief overview of the certificate and how it can help you develop the skills you need to build your career. Over to you, Alex.
Thank you very much, Mushar. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for your interest in our certificate. It's designed to actually help you program and game, not at the same time necessarily, but it certainly cooperatively. So let's start off with who it's intended for. So it's online, it has 4 courses, and it will cost you that amount of money. The differentiator from this offering, as opposed to many other types of continuing ed gaming certificates, is we actually teach you how to write a game. And we teach you how to program for writing that game. And this is our kind of unique selling feature. You will have a portfolio at the end of the certificate that you can not only be proud of, but you can actually show potential employers. So this is really our goal. Our goal is to help you get a job, or it's to actually fulfill other goals that you might have that you tell us about. Anyways, next slide. Yeah, these are kind of standard that you get. So if you want to be a game developer, you've got to learn how to develop a game somewhere, and you might as well do it with us. But the other things that maybe aren't so clear and so obvious is that once you learn these skills, you could use them for other things. For example, games are just simulations, right? Simulations of reality or fantasy. So now you can write whatever you want. So if you happen to have a well-developed sense of drama, you could develop a game that's very, very fictional, or you can actually simulate very, very real things like a weight falling off a roof, or the amount of force that's actually going to be used to hold up something. These are actually professional skills that are in demand for other things like scientific computing, and by extension, serious games. So games that actually have a purpose other than fun. Next slide. The big tricks that we're giving you are we're basically giving you some kind of proficiency in several popular programming languages, as well as a good understanding of either the Unreal Engine or the Unity development environment. They're not the same, but they kind of lead to the same thing. And I'm sure our experts will tell you more about them. The real trick is you actually get a professional portfolio. You build it yourself through the assignments in the various courses and the capstone that actually allow you to demonstrate to a potential employer or whoever you like, even if it's your little sister, what you can actually do after taking the certificate. So we show you what the norms are rather than you discovering them for themselves. Like all industries, the gaming industry has certain norms, and we'll talk about them to you so that you aren't a neophyte when you start entering into it. Next slide. Yeah, so it's not like a regular university degree. Our certificate is very flexible. You can do it over a series of months or years if you like. And the real intent is to show what you can do. So we're not overly test-based. We're more performance-based. And the performance, the artifact that you're interested in at the end of the certificate is your portfolio, which shows the performance that you've actually achieved through the rest of the certificate. And this is actually what employers want to see as well. The other thing is you're exposed to the technology you'll be using every day. And this is very important because you'll be using a kind of set of standards which are well understood within the industry. Next. And so this is a new certificate, but it is a well thought out certificate. You'll see from Dylan and Chris, they are not stupid people. They have spent a lot of time putting things into this program that actually are useful and translate directly into something that you can use as well. So we're not doing this for academic reasons. We're doing this so you can get a job and so that you can actually work with this stuff. Nobody wants, well, most people don't want to take a certificate and not have anything useful come out of the end of it. We will give you useful things, especially that portfolio. Thank you, Mashur. That's it.
Love that. Thank you so much, Alex, for giving us a rundown of the certificate and overview, and really what we're looking to do to help people to enter this world of game development. Now we'll pass it over to Dylan. Once again, Dylan Refka is part of our program advisory council, and he's a developer and instructor of the 2 certificate courses. And Dylan will talk about a little bit of his insight into the courses and some trends. Over to you, Dylan.
Hello. Okay, should I jump right in about the course, or should I tell you a little bit about myself first?
Go for it. Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you can jump into some topics of the course that you want to discuss.
Okay, sounds great. So yeah, I guess about myself a little bit. I graduated from game programming at Humber College, and that's where I learned all the different programming languages, and I had the opportunity to use Unity and Unreal, and I actually came to the realization at one point that there actually is more to life than just games. And if you can make games, you can do pretty much anything with real-time technology. You can make interactive real-time experiences with virtual reality and make experiences for different industries, not just for the game industry. So I built a scuba diving virtual reality game based on my own experiences. And Dr. Chris Alexander, you were actually helping me develop it at the time, which was great. And it really opened up a door to new opportunities for me. I figured I would land it at a game studio somewhere. But I ended up working in the healthcare industry for about 5 years, making virtual and augmented reality experiences for pharmaceutical companies. And then things kind of came full circle. And I ended up back in the game industry, working with Unity, doing support. So helping game developers when they have trouble with their multiplayer games or their players can't hear each other, helping them troubleshoot and debug their issues and things like that. So yeah, I've been doing support with Unity for a while now, and more recently getting more involved with teaching and developing this new course with Toronto MU, which I'm very excited to be a part of.
Wow, thank you for sharing that, Dylan.
I guess that's me in a nutshell. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested to know more about the scuba diving VR. That sounds like a lot of fun. Like if you actually went scuba diving to get some of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not recently, but yeah, back in the day I was scuba diving, and I really wanted people to be able to try it and get to experience it if they're not able to. And so that was definitely a passion project for me with scuba diving, video games, and virtual reality. Yeah, that was a fun project. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, no, that's definitely something that I'll look a little bit into. And yeah, thank you for sharing that little bit. I know we see a few questions coming in, which is great. Keep putting those questions in. And for our next guest, we'll pass it on to Dr. Chris Alexander, and he's the video games professor, public speaker, online education specialist with over 30 years of connecting theory and practice. And he's also a TMU faculty member and a developer of our game development certificate. So without further ado, welcome Dr. Chris Alexander, who will share some insight in the world of game development.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Can y'all hear me all right? There's a giant student onboarding party happening. So if you hear any Backstreet Boys, it's not me. So yeah, thank you all for having me. I'm so excited that you're here. I guess a brief introduction about me and then talk a little bit about Dylan's amazing game and some of the work. So if you use a Bing search or Google, they'll ask you, if you type in the professor of video games, there's one name that comes up. But what on earth does that mean? I break my work up into 3 areas. The first area is video game design. That's how we create, make, and shape an experience for at least one person other than ourselves. Second area is solo production, this idea of being able to stream your work, even as a programmer, it's necessary. A lot of remote work, which I'll show you some resources in a second. And the third area of the evolution of education, including artificial intelligence, which we were talking about a little bit earlier there. I've written 6 GPTs myself, some of them helping with shaders in Unreal Engine, actually, and we can talk about that later. When it comes to video game design, I'm an Unreal Engine authorized instructor with Epic Games at the silver level. Did some work with Unity this past summer, as well as built a game with students last year. When it comes to solo production, the way that you get your message out there, I'm using Open Broadcaster software, and the evolution of education using some ChatGPT. And I taught myself Unreal Engine in a year by asking ChatGPT to act as the Unreal Engine, speak to me as if I'm 5, and when answering questions, speak to me in a way that is based like a rubric. So I can show you those tips and tricks. If you had the chance to come in, I don't know if you have any in-person classes, but we have access to the Red Bull Gaming Hub, where we have what we like to call pilot training in those areas. A little bit more about me, if you had a chance, and you take out your phones right now, you can take a look at my TED Talk, the only one in the history of the university. Lots of TEDx talks, but 0 TED Talks outside of this one. Talk about how video games can level up post-secondary and really education in general. Have done some work with the Wall Street Journal and Destination Canada, talking about reading, AI writing, which includes code and arithmetic, and teaching, I guess, high-profile companies like Deloitte how to present themselves online, which is what we can help you with as well to connect with clients. We have students that they jump from 0 to 50,000 subscribers and get promoted based on how we teach them how to present themselves. Some things my wife tells me to tell folks: I've got over 30 years of experience as a player professional and a consultant in the space. Some of the connections we've helped, well, students really have helped themselves. I just found out another one of my students got hired at Ubisoft. Steven Skublix, after taking one course with me, Epic Games, Ubisoft, Gameloft, Stitch Media, and Overactive Media. We have graduates working there, so we are well connected there as well. As you can see, I'm a Red Bull supported scholar, an educator, doing some international work with TED, the Wall Street Journal, Contentful, a headless content management system, which some of the backend, as Dylan mentioned, will not only serve you in games, but even in working with headless CMS, content management systems, the structures behind lots of those selection modules inside of restaurants, and now even the movies, and sometimes car washes as well. And lastly, I myself am working on 2 video games, one in Unreal and the other one in Unity. They're 2 cozy games. Bearable is a game about family life and happiness, and Bread Type is a typing game for my kids that is geolocative and gives you Dolce sight words so that you can unlock to bake your own breads based on where you live. This is exactly what those 2 games look like. Some of the things that you'll be learning in this program. On the left-hand side, you'll see some of the shader work in Unreal Engine with Bearable. On the right-hand side, you can see some of the 2D environment work in Unity. That's the brief introduction. The other thing I wanted to show you while I have your attention is there's not a single job, trade, or discipline that doesn't in some way connect to and through the video games industry. The superpower for this one, although we're zooming out to see the entire picture, the superpowers here include gameplay programmers, UX, UI developers, tools programmers. I'm not going to read this. I'm going to put this in the chat, and y'all can explore this in your own time as a resource to see where you fit in this industry. And lastly, I wanted to tell you right now, in your said discipline, if you look at the job search for programmer, there are at least 139 jobs at these different gaming companies that are looking for the exact superpowers that you'll be covering in this course. Let me put that link in there for you just in case you think I'm joking. And I just also wanted to highlight, where did I put it? That when we're looking at the tools that pay the bills, there's a book by Jason Gregory called Game Engine Architecture. And if you look at, oh, this is terrible resolution. I'm sure there's a better one. This is also terrible resolution. Come on. Open image in a new tab. There we go. Woo. Whoa, that was great. All right. So when we were teaching game programmers at Humber College, previous institution, and when I'm teaching computer scientists who make up the largest portion of my undergraduate students here at TMU, we look at these different areas. Now, this is the game engine architecture. That is which tool that I used to create the mind map. That's an online tool based out of a project in Finland, just to answer some of the questions there. If you're looking at the different sections of game engine architecture, one of these, even a portion of these, can get you employed at a AAA company right now. Now, depending on what your superpowers are and what you're coming with, it'll be useful to look into these, but I'll also put this in the chat for you to look at it and see which one of these speak to you right now. That is more introduction that I'm sure you were hoping for. And if there are any questions, I'm here to answer those as well.
Wow, thank you for that, Dr. Chris. That was amazing. I was fortunate enough to see one of your talks at the XP Gaming conference, which was truly inspiring. So thank you for joining us today and sharing some of that. First question, actually, we'll at this point open up the floor to questions. Thank you for answering the question from Lotus Buchanan. I hope I pronounced that right, but yeah, thank you for answering that. We have another question, and maybe Dylan, you can answer this one. Is CKCS 540, the video game studio environment, a programming course? It seems more of a communications course.
That's a good question, and you are correct. It is more about communication and things like using source control and repositories with GitHub and those types of tools, and overall just more about the game developer role and some of the other team members that you would be working with, and getting a better understanding of the overall role besides all the programming that goes into it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Now we have a few questions that actually came in prior to the info session through email. So I'll share a couple of those that that maybe we can talk about. And you know, maybe all of you can weigh in on this one because I feel like it's more of a broad question. You know, it talks about what are some of the technical roles or non-technical roles that that students would be looking into. And I know, you know, Dr. Chris shared a diagram there, but I think, yeah, maybe if you all could weigh in on that and yeah, share that.
I can reread all of these if necessary. You're looking at gameplay programmers, UX, UI developers, tools programmers, back-end developers, game engines, UX, UI, coding and programming. But I think there are two ways to look at it. You can look at this mind map in terms of what's available, but you could also just look at the available jobs because we have pipeline, we have gameplay specifically, we have console and PC games, we have tools programmers, which we know back from our research, tools programmers have the highest acquisition rate for AAA developers, mostly, especially if you're working in C++. Anybody who can build tools is highly engaged and useful. Oh, I guess you can't see me. There we go. I fixed that. Graphics programmers and people working at the GPU level. And the reason why we usually say this, because a lot of these organizations that we're looking at right now, particularly Ubisoft, have proprietary game engines that work at the software level. So understanding tools in one engine helps you cross over. I know we said when we're working with a company like Gameloft, a lot of their work happens in C#, so you tend to be more towards Unity. And if you're looking at working with Ubisoft, they've got their bespoke engine called, oh man, Frostbite, the Frostbite engine, which is written in C++. So taking a look at your destination is usually a great way of starting. For example, what is it that you're interested in doing or you're already immediately skilled at, or what is your destination? And you can help, and we can help you modify your trajectory based on that. Despite what people are saying, as you can see right now while I'm scrolling and talking, there are quite a few jobs available in industry right now. And the superpowers that you're acquiring here in this program speak specifically to that when you're looking at programming, despite what everybody's also saying about the use of artificial intelligence. That's my long-winded answer there. I'll see what else I can handle in the chat when the next person jumps in.
Awesome. So there's the next question, which is about the environment. So are all courses within the described environments Unreal Engine or Unity, or there coursework with libraries such as SDL?
Thanks for mentioning that. I believe so far we've been focusing mostly on Unity and C# and Unreal with blueprints and C++. But yeah, if that's something that you'd like to explore, I think there's room for that in the 510 course, because the goal for that course is to be able to make a game using C# or C++. And if you want to use Unreal or Unity, or if you want to develop your own game engine, I don't think we should hold you back if you want to use C++ and SDL or OpenGL and really get to the low level programming and where Unreal and Unity take care of most of the work for you. If you want to get in a bit at the lower level and do some work where you can actually develop some of those core game engine features, then yeah, I wouldn't want to stop you from doing that in the course. The goal in 510 is to have you build a game and use it as a portfolio piece.
Awesome, I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Dylan. This next question is it usually comes up in other certificates as well. You know, it talks about how much background or experience in programming or development or any of that do you need? You know, someone pretty much said that, you know, they want to just switch out from their current 9-to-5 and learn game development. Is this a good way to start?
I can handle that one.
Oh yes, sorry, yeah, go ahead, Alex. Yeah, please do.
So yeah, I'm not a game developer myself, but if I was first learning how to program, my programming experience was miserable. I was taught how to program on a mainframe computer, and I was told it was all about, data. But there was no F in it, meaning no fun at all. The benefit of taking this is we don't expect you to know anything. Now, if you do know something about programming, that's a great thing, unless it's the wrong thing, and then we'll tell you the right thing. But if it's the wrong, if you know nothing, you're perfect. So the intent is that we give you a task based roughly on gaming, and you'll be learning how to code at the same time. You're sort of killing several birds with one stone. And believe me, from personal experience, it will be a better way to learn how to code. Thanks.
Awesome. Dylan, I know you wanted to add something to that.
Oh yeah, we're designing it so that you don't actually have to be an expert in programming or anything like that. But yeah, any background experience you have can help you for sure. And yeah, we'll start with the basics, and things will definitely ramp up and get more advanced as we go. Especially in 510 and 520, there's some technical components to those courses, but yeah, we'll start in the shallow end, and then we'll work our way up from there.
Sweet. So another question is, will there be a certain amount of time learning C++ or C?
C#.
You want to go ahead, Chris? Or would you like me to?
Oh,
I think you could. It depends. Like, these are interesting questions from the anonymous attendee. I'd love to know more about the background of the individual and what sort of their outcomes are. Are they wanting to learn how to program? Can I share the link to Unreal certification? I absolutely can. But when you're working with Dylan in C#, what we normally do when we're in classrooms is we have to assess the current level of students before being able to answer that question. If you're at 0, there will be some structures that you'll have to learn in terms of if you're looking at C#. If you're looking at Unreal, there are 2 ways of looking at it. We can do it from the surface blueprint perspective with visual scripting and coding, and then dig deeper when you need bespoke things like, I don't know, lookup tables or shaders, for example, inside of the engine. We're talking about C++, low-level C++ there, right? So it would depend on what your objectives are. And typically what we do in these kinds of programs is find out what your destination is, and then we can peel back. A lot of times students come up to me and say, well, I want you to help me make my game. And I'm like, well, what is your game? And then they have to define what that is, and we can go from there, right? You're probably going to be using shaders, probably lighting, probably physics. So we're going to have to sort of get into those as well. So those will be some of the fundamental principles that you'll have to learn either in C# or C++, and or via the visual scripting that either of those tools provide.
Yeah, I completely agree, and especially with the 510 course, it's kind of like choose your own path. You can build a game with Unity and C#. Maybe you want to make something cross-platform or something like that, a casual mobile kind of game, or maybe you want to use Unreal with blueprints or C++. So we kind of give you that choice. You can choose which game engine you want to go with.
Thank you. I'll take another question that actually came in from before. It's regarding networking. So what opportunities are there for networking with industry professionals during or after the program? So whoever wants to take that.
Okay. There are quite a few. You saw me in my introduction. I listed a bunch of companies where we have students working there. That's typically where I start. I also had a Discord server with every student I've taught, as well as all of my guest lecturers. But one cool thing to do is what I often ask students to do is start with the games and companies that they want to work for. And then we go back from there to try and actually connect with them. And I do a little trick where if there's somebody that's part of my network that I know, and you have some work to show for yourself, I will set up a shared chat inside of LinkedIn and wait for both parties to introduce themselves. And then I just leave the chat. Now, what's critical to understand about programming and the games industry as it comes to connections, a lot of this has to do with you. What do I mean? If I or we are to connect you with somebody, it's you that has to prove your skill. So connecting with Ubisoft right now might not be optimal. However, connecting with Ubisoft after you have a bunch of libraries or GitHubs, why did I say that? Or repositories in GitHub, as well as work to show that you've done and or applied to something like Ubisoft Next, you're gonna have to be able to show your hustle. It's like applying to be a swimming instructor. This is because Dylan was talking about diving. You're not gonna sign up for the Olympics before you've learned how to swim. So be very careful with this idea of connections, because we can connect you with everyone, but once we make that connection, it's up to you to prove that you can do the thing that you say you do. I'm still looking for that link to the Unreal Engine certification page. I will get that to you shortly.
But thank you for that answer. That I think that's so important for everyone to know, because I know it comes up a lot about networking with industry professionals, but I think it's important for everybody to know that they need to be prepared for that next step as well. And yeah, thanks for sharing that. One of the questions that also came in is regarding, preparation to, if we want to hit the ground running, is there anywhere we can start, or do I need any special equipment or computer, etc., for taking this course? So maybe Dylan, I can throw that to you.
Yeah, I can start us off, I guess. So yeah, you will definitely want to have a gaming laptop capable of running Unity or Unreal coming into the program. That's definitely going to help you to develop games. I believe it is a firm requirement, or at least strongly recommended. And then, yeah, for books and things to read in advance, at least for the 510 course and potentially 520, there is no required textbook or anything like that. But we can dig up a few examples, I'm sure. But one thing I would recommend is, if you're interested, you can get a head start and dig into some of the documentation and YouTube tutorials that are out there, because there's great content out there that could help you get started if you want to get a head start with playing around with Unity and Unreal, so that maybe you'll be a bit more comfortable coming into the program. Feel free to add anything else if anyone else can think of something.
If I can add something, I know we have a networking event. It's called Build a Career in Data and Technology. It's happening at the campus on September 24th, Tuesday, 5:30 to 7:30. And yeah, it's free to attend. You'll see some professionals, some instructors and students in a networking session. So I'd invite everybody to get to that if they want to get a head start, I guess, in something. I'll share the details of that event soon as well. So this next question is regarding
before you go on to that question, I just have an addendum to what Chris said.
Yes.
What Chris said is absolutely golden. That's absolutely true. Actually, Dylan said it kind of as well. You're going to have to build up a portfolio to actually have something to show. So that means you're actually going to have to do stuff. Having said that, we don't leave you alone, right? So we have something called wraparound support, which is essentially we will support you in your job quest. So while you have to find the opportunities possibly associated with these gentlemen, we will actually provide you with letters of reference. We will also talk to potential employers. If you need someone to talk to for you, we will do all of that. And by the way, we don't stop doing that. So once you're ours, like once you take our certificate, you're like family, whether that's good or bad. I mean, we're kind of carbuncly, but we'll try and help you. So you come back and you ask us for things, we'll grudgingly provide them. So if you need more assistance, even with resume production, we will do that. So so it's not just the courses that you're getting, it's actually a service set that will help. We want you to get employed. Now, why do we want to do that? Well, look at us. We want to stay employed ourselves. So if we don't provide you with a good product, you're not going to buy more products from us. So that's our intent. Our intent is to help you help us. Very selfish, I know. Thank you.
Awesome.
Oh,
Thank
just
you
an
for
add
adding.
on.
Yeah.
Sorry, just an
Go
add on
ahead.
to that, if possible, because I gave a talk about this recently. Let me see if I can find the exact quote. What's important to understand about programming is that it's very similar to something that we know and love. Well, maybe not know and love. Let me see if I can pull that up. Where is my quote? It is right here. Ha ha ha. So the quote is simple when it comes to game programming in general. All right. And this was a talk I gave at Serious Play. We talk about practice. All right. Now the quote is this: no one can work out on the gym at the gym on your behalf. Do you understand? None of us can go to the gym on your behalf. I cannot say, ooh, I want to work on my abs. Can you just, Dylan, go to the gym for me? And I sit at home and, oh, yo, I could feel it. It sounds ridiculous when I say this, but it's exactly what I'm trying to say about programming. You're the one that has to go to the gym, okay? I spent time becoming certified in Unreal Engine. I did the work. You will have to do the work. There is no single sit down I can have with you and transfer my 1 year of waking up every morning at 4 a.m. to teach myself the engine to you. I will have conversations, be there with you any step of the way that you need assistance, but only you can put in the reps. Only you can troubleshoot through the troubleshooting. Just make sure that that's clear. Sometimes there's a misconception that because games are easy to play, they're easy to make. Two different worlds, I promise, and you'll see. It's completely rewarding, and as Dylan mentioned, those skills are transferable, but just keep that in mind. No one can work out at the gym on your behalf.
Thank you for adding that. Yeah, that's really important to know, and I think that's a really good way of saying it that no one can go to the gym on your behalf. We have another question, which is about a trend that there is a need of game developers in Montreal and Ottawa, and so this person's asked if this can be transferred across the country in Canada overall. If we go to outside of the GTA in Montreal or Ottawa.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see if I can find some specific ones for you. Location. Oh, look at them showing up already. Okay, let's go back there. If you take a look at some of the, what did you say, Montreal?
Yep, Montreal.
Okay, great. So right now there are currently 31 jobs available in Montreal specifically. I'm gonna put this in the chat. Y'all love how I love this evidence, huh? I'm not into like guessing or postulating. Pow, this is the exact answer to that question. These are the jobs in Montreal. Looking at the website Hitmarker Jobs or hitmarker.net. Now, I used to run a lecture that goes like this: every job posting is fake. Everybody's always looking for what you can do. So don't get intimidated when it says 5 years experience. If you go deeper into the job post itself, let's go back. If we go deeper into the job post itself, you'll see what they're actually asking for. And that's whether you determine whether or not you'll be able to do it. All right. Don't get intimidated by the first area, because in a lot of these websites, you're only able to post a job if you put this range of experience, and the default might be 2 to 5. We don't know because we're not posting jobs. So what was the other area you said? You said Montreal. You said Toronto.
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Okay, let's see if we got. I've got Vancouver here. Let me see if there's some Ottawa. Let's go. Developer.
But yes, I think people study in Ontario and then they end up working in Quebec, or they end up working in British Columbia. That happens. Some people stay in the same place like me, but yeah.
Also, you'll notice, I don't see anything in Ottawa specifically here yet, but there's also game dev jobs, which I can check in a minute. But also you'll notice some of these jobs, the location is actually, let's clear that, remote, include remote jobs. So you'll see a lot of these positions will allow you to work anywhere in the world, like this one from Wicked Workshop, remote to Australia, right? They may have some visa issues, so look into those, but these skills and superpowers are portable to different parts of the world. I'm gonna work on the Ottawa thing while you continue to talk, because I'm gonna find an answer. Can you expand on the tools? Jeff Banner, friend of Bruce, asks, can you expand on the tools programmer role? Okay, let me go back to this picture here. So if you look at the game engine architecture. You're seeing different parts within the ecosystem of game development. Now, tools programmers, how do I say this? So you're familiar with Microsoft Word, correct? The program? A tools programmer is somebody who can build Microsoft Word. Do you understand? So your ability to build a word processing, build a tool is a great way of thinking about it. You can have physics in a game, but a tools programmer could build a physics engine. Does that make sense? You can have lighting and shaders, but a tools programmer could build a shader, and my AI will teach you how to do that. Nice. So hopefully that answered that question. What game companies using to dev games? Are they building their own? And I think I already answered this. It depends on the company. I mentioned that Ubisoft uses Frostbite. Epic, what are they working in again? They're starting to let people work in Unreal Engine Fortnite. Leave it with me and I'll get to that. Even if they have their own engines though, the subset of it will likely be C# or C++. It's not, what is SSAAS, Software as a Service?
Yeah.
So you mean the actual tools itself? If you're building the tool that checks for users as well as payment structures, that could fall under tools programmer as well. I saw the two S's, that's why I got messed up with software.
Oh, I can also help with the tools programmer a bit. So you have gameplay programmers who will work on making it so that when you press the spacebar, the player jumps and things like that. But to actually be able to do those things, you need those tools that Chris was mentioning. And yeah, so like even things like extensions and tools that can extend the capabilities of Unity and Unreal, tools programmers can do things like that. Things that help the actual gameplay, but aren't the actual core gameplay itself.
Great. No, thank you for sharing that to the both of you. Next question is, I'm an illustrator, visual dev, and background artist with no programming experience. I want to focus on game stylization, and story. Is this part of the curriculum? Like, for example, they want to build a DDR step chart to original music and have responsive visualizer. Will I make this during the course timeline? And is there any game designs that come out? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I see a lot of things there. First of all, thank you for mentioning DDR. I have my dance mats right back here in my office. So you're looking at listening, you're looking at timers, you're looking at shaders, you're looking at particle systems for effects. So it depends on what you mean, right? Like, that's a brilliant question because those particle systems need to be illustrated and then implemented, right? So the answer could be yes to all of those things, but it depends on what it is you're trying to do. If you're trying to build which I would love to play because I grew up in Markham, we play a lot of DDR. I'd love to play this game. If you were, for example, wanting to build it in VR, we do have, in our labs, we have the ability to work in VR in Unity, and we made bespoke packages for it to work in Unreal. So whether or not you're gonna have it like Beat Saber where things are coming at you, or you actually wanted to have a physical mat, now we're talking about programming for peripherals, and well, we can look at it here in the game engine architecture in terms of looking at, well, it's kind of under platform independence layer. Anyways, so it will depend on the time you're willing to spend to make this, would be my short yet long answer. Dylan, I'm not sure if you wanted to add anything there.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. It sounds like an interesting project, and I would encourage you to work on it, whether it's in this program or not, especially since it seems like you're very passionate about it as well. And there is some game design aspect, especially in the 530 course. You'll be able to come up with some different mechanics and things like that in that course, and be able to do some documentation and come up with some more game design components rather than strictly programming as well. So hopefully that helps.
Oh, I can't wait to answer that next question. Hopefully that helps. The
Yes.
next question is, I didn't mean to take it away. Did you want to read it, Mashur? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the next question is, what are some non-game related applications of game technology? Ooh, you ready for this? How many of you are familiar with this character here? Who is this? Anybody in the chat? The answer is one of video games' first female protagonists, Samus Aran. Now, Samus Aran came out in 1986 in a video game called Metroid. Now, for those of you who are unaware or weren't alive for this is what Metroid looks like. It's a 2D side scroller of Samus Aran, who walks around fighting space pirates. All right? You with me so far? I'm sure. Because guess what? On November 18th, 2002, Samus returned in a three-dimensional format game called Metroid Prime, okay? Now, for those of you who don't remember, this is what the game looked like. And for the first time in the series, we get to see Samus, through her eyes, what she sees. Now, trust me, this is the answer to your question, absolutely. So you will see the character zoom in and look at the user interface around the edges where we can see her position in space and time, how much energy she has, where she is geographically. She has the scan visor, which will allow her to monitor specific things within the three-dimensional space. This is a video game. You're here with me so far? I hope you are. This is the Daphne Coxwell building at Tamu. Last year, we did a LiDAR scan of the Daphne Coxwell building, the entire building, and created a scan of all of the heating and cooling systems, as well as the ventilation systems inside of the building. And what we did was we took the technical theory of Samus's scan visor and added it to this live scan, or this digital twin rather, of the Daphne Coxwell building. And then we set this up as a tool for HVAC and building inspection, meaning that when inspectors come to the bottom of the Daphne Coxwell building, we have a patent for this right now. Those of you talking about side hustle, you take out your phone and put our app on it and look at the building, you can see through the walls. Since we're capturing the data in real time, the airflow, the temperature, whether or not there are any faults, inspectors can stand at the bottom of the building and look and see all of the faults. Now, that's in a paper that we just published called Applying Video Game Design to Building Digital Twin Creation. If you want to read more about it, you can take out your phones and scan that QR code there. That is the exact answer to your question. Point cloud. Yeah, Leo, this is sort of like, okay, I see that. The details of that will be in the paper, but that is my exact answer of what I specifically have done with this video game technology. Thanks for pinning me. Are there any other questions from our live studio audience?
So right now, there are no more open questions, but that was an amazing example of how you can apply game development and things that you can learn here to other non-game related applications. So yeah, you know, blew my mind. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, if there's no more questions, we'll go to our closing. Is there anything else any of our speakers would like to add before I make my closing remarks?
I just wanted to say that we had a saying when we're talking about game programming and game development, and that is that anybody that can build their own engine or tools or components has a 100% job acquisition rate in industry, whether or not it's video games industry or other fields like the medical fields and the like. Those who can build are going to be the builders, and you have chosen to become builders. Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Dr. Chris. And thank you to our speakers today, and for everyone else to taking the time out of your day to attend today's information session. If you're interested in the certificate and learning more and enrolling in it, please go to our website, continuing.torontomu.ca. And if you have any other questions, please contact myself at mash.chaudhry@torontomu.ca. You will receive a follow-up email with this presentation, the recording of the session, and the survey within 24 to 48 hours. Wanted to also remind you once again that we have a networking event on September 24th at 5:30 p.m. and details of that will be in that email. And on behalf of the Chang School, our presenters and guest speakers, thank you for joining us today and have a great rest of the day.